Let's record. Okay, so welcome everyone, and welcome to Eclipse Decoded. Pretty much like I do a similar masterclass twice a year, and this is probably one of my favorite because the Scorpio rising in me loves the deep transformations that are brought by eclipse season. Because as I'm going to explain to you, eclipses are way more common than a lot of us might think. Like it's not because we don't see them that they are not happening. On a regular case, eclipses happen like about 4 times a year and they come in pairs. So and this is what we call eclipse season. So it's a series of eclipses that are happening in a span of 2 weeks, which the first one is generally around like springtime, like March, April-ish. And the second one is usually in fall time or beginning of fall, like September, October, in those waters. And those usually happen during a full moon and a new moon, no matter the order. So sometimes the new moon first and then the full moon. In this case, in this season that we are in currently, we are going to have first an eclipse happening during a full moon and then an eclipse happening during a new moon. But we're going to get in details about this in a second. So, as an astrologer, I love to call eclipse seasons agent of fate or agent of change. Why? Because eclipse season pretty much like has a very specific role. And its role is to make sure that us as human beings stay on course for our long-term journey in order to achieve our goals and make our dreams come true. So eclipse season's like purpose is to prop changes and make sure that we are staying on this journey by allowing us to quantum leap. Like those famous like quantum leap that like every coaches and people online are like often talking about. Like this is my definition of quantum leaping. It's like universe like boosting our asses to make sure that we take aligned actions so we make changes and transformations happen in our world faster than they usually would. And oh, typo, sorry about that. It can be brutal because yes, quick change might seem exciting. Like, when we look at change, like for example, oh, my business is going to become like super successful in like a matter of like 2, 3 months time. This is fun change on the surface. I'm going to make more money. I'm going to get into a new amazing relationship. I'm going to get a new house. I'm going to, get a new job. Like those are changes that sound super exciting, and they are. But sometimes they require us to make a bit of like a change or a transformation around how we do things. And this is what can be brutal because in order for those changes to happen, there is a lot underneath the surface that needs first for us to adapt to. And this is what eclipse season is pushing us to do. It's pushing us to realize where we're out of alignment between the actions that we're currently taking and the goals that we want to achieve. And then it is pushing us to take actions in order to make the transformations that are needed for us to then go back on track to reaching our goals faster. And this is sometimes easy because sometimes we're already, on track of making things happening. Like we're following the constant pulls that universe are sending us. We're like, doing the things, we're taking aligned actions on a regular basis, but sometimes it requires a little bit of ass whipping. And as someone who's been like, doing astrology for a bit now, I'm saying to you, it is better to embrace the energy, aka now know how to use it, And it's also better to follow the poles right away from when you feel them rather than wait for this. It's like, like, oh, I'm feeling it, but I'm just gonna wait for things to like, happen. I'm kind of like going to ignore this because I'm not really feeling doing those changes right now. Like, it sounds like bringing a lot of drama for nothing. So I'm just gonna wait it out. Yeah. Universe has like a tendency to, come back with like violence in its mind when you ignore those polls for too long. It's like, okay, I'm going to do this for your own good, but it's going to be freaking brutal. So yeah, it's all with love, but it's better to follow it right now. Okay, so let's go back in time a bit. First things first, with the first eclipse season that we had in 2024. So go back into your brain. Where were you, in March, April of 2024, and what happened for you at that time? So, this first eclipse was on happening in Libra and in Aries. So, the first one that we had was March 25th, 2024, and as a whole, this first eclipse season was very relationship focused. So it was all about making sure that you were realizing where you were out of alignment in your relationships and how you were showing up for those relationships, and making sure that you were kind of like doing the tweaks and the adjustments that were needed in order to correct your track. So, and when I say relationships, like I don't necessarily mean like love or romantic relationship. It can be a friendship, it can be with your family, it can be with your friends, it can be with your clients, with your business partners. So it was definitely like a time where universe might have asked you to review how you were doing relationship, be it because like you needed stronger boundaries, maybe you needed to pivot and like how you were like showing up into your relationships or how you were showing up in communities. So go back in time, remember what showed up for you in this time. And the fun thing now is to see where you are about 6 months-ish later. Now, the second eclipse of this first eclipse season was on April 8th, and it was in Aries. So that was to make sure that you were learning from your mistakes, your past partnerships, your past lack of boundaries, what didn't work, what worked out, and how ultimately you could like integrate this into your daily practices so you could grow and make sure that now you were either showing up in a more aligned way or showing up in communities and with people that were there to make sure that you were growing as a business owner or as a human being. So this is like the fun thing that I always like to do between eclipse season, because ultimately, yes, it's going to whip your ass during this particular season, but the goal is to make sure that the next 6 months are growth oriented into the specific area that you felt that pull during that specific eclipse season. So now is the fun time to reflect on where you were back in March, April of 2024, where you were at relationship wise at that time, what came up for you at that time, and what was your journey since then up to today. So this is like where my Scorpio rising loves to see the transformations, the changes, and the growth that was made for you. Just before we get into like another eclipse season that is going to whip your ass again and then like propel you to do more changes into your life and your business. So that was the first eclipse season that we had in 2024. So all of this ultimately was leading, of course, to today, to the second eclipse season. I'm going to tell you, universe never does anything for nothing. Like it's all part of a bigger plan. It's all part of a bigger picture, of a bigger journey. Because ultimately, we are there for the long-term game as human beings and as souls on this earth. So, this whole thing about relationships that happened with that first eclipse season was to help us get to this point where universe was preparing itself to throw at us another cycle of growth and change. So how did you restructure your relationships? How did you change you know how you do communities? Did you reevaluate it how you wanted to invest yourself and your energy with other people? Did you went into a period where you were redefining your ideal clients, like who you wanted to work with, who you wanted to share energy with? Did you enter new partnerships, business wise, romantic wise, friendship wise? Um, did you enter new communities? Did you open a new membership? Like all of this was ultimately leading to second eclipse season, which is the reason that brought us together today. So this is for me a very special season because it opens up another 3 years cycle. So this eclipse those eclipses that we are having right now are going to be the first of 7 eclipses happening on the Virgo Pisces axis up until 2027. So I would like to add that eclipses move with our collective nodal axis. So the nodal axis in astrology is defined by the north-south node axis. So this axis main purpose is to influence the energy that we move forward to as a collective. So our collective nodal axis moved in 2023 to Aries Libra. So this is where we had been having like eclipses since 2023 on the Aries Libra axis. But as of now, right now, as of this season, we are moving this axis in Virgo Pisces. And our collective nodal axis is going to follow closely in January 2025 and is going to then change from Aries Libra to Virgo Pisces. So right now we're kind of like having an early eclipse season on like this Virgo Pisces axis. But this is again like just universe's way of preparing us, preparing our energy to this upcoming nodal axis switch in January of 2025. So the teams that are currently playing out for you or that are going to come to play during this whole season that is going to end beginning of November 2024, those teams are going to mark your journey for the next 3 years approximately. So it's very important for you to notice what wants to come up right now for you because this is going to play out from now until 2027. Again, we are on this life, on this path for the long-term thing. So, kind of like, don't like sweat it out, like waking up every day, like, oh my God, what teams are playing for me right now? Like, I need to find out the teams. So, like, no, just keep it in the back of your mind somewhere and come back to it once in a while. Like again, those type of deep transformations are usually happening on the long term. So yes, you are going to be pushed to make the changes, to take actions right now, to kind of like stretch your elastic right now. But ultimately, those actions are going to have longer term repercussions. So, don't sweat it out. Just like keep it close by and come back to it once in a while. But again, the fun part is to come back to it in like 6 months and be like, okay, what has changed for me? And you can even do that for the previous, like, nodal axis Aries Libra. Like, look back at where you were at in the beginning of 2023 versus where you are at now that 2025 is almost upon us. What changed? What, in what ways did you evolve? And this is like for me the cool part, because then you get to see just how much you have grown within that time frame. So the first eclipse that we are going to have in this particular season is happening on September 17, which is next Tuesday, and it's going to be a partial full moon lunar eclipse at 25 degrees of Pisces. So this eclipse is going to be kind of like nudging you into the direction that you're supposed to get going. So I always say that eclipse seasons are happening in two parts. Well, logical, there are two eclipses. So the first eclipse is kind of like setting out the energy and the themes for what is coming. And the second eclipse is kind of like tying up the loop. It's like making sense, helping you make sense of everything. And it's kind of like wiping your ass into that final stretch of, action taking and changes. So this eclipse in Pisces is pretty much like going to pull you and nudge you in the areas where you might not be listening to your intuition. And what is that gap? What has that gap created for you? The consequences that it brought into your life or into your business because you were not following your intuition. And I know that you know where that is because usually you get that inner voice that is like, this is not right. You shouldn't be doing things this way. But then you have your other voice. Oh, God, I froze. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Good. So, but then you have your other voice that's like, do you really want to go through all the trouble that this would, cause if you were to follow that inner voice that you're hearing? And usually, because we're human beings and we don't like drama, we like when everything flows. We don't necessarily take the actions that we would need to take to follow that inner voice that is pushing us. So this eclipse, this first eclipse in Pisces, is kind of like reminding us that following your intuition is a good thing. So what needs is going to kind of like highlight what needs to go for your pain, your sadness, your discomforts. However, is that those consequences of not following your intuition are showing up for you. What needs to go in order for that discomfort to listen? Like, what are the warnings that your intuition is purposely, constantly sending you and that you're deliberately ignoring? Again, I know that right now, you're just like, crap, yeah. I haven't been doing a good job at doing XYZ. And I know that recently, when I mean recently, like I mean since like end of August, beginning of September, this particular thing and area in your life came back full force at you and was like, hey, remember? You remember how you kept ignoring me? Yeah, I'm back. Might be a good thing now to listen to me and listen to, what I'm trying to say. So this is this first eclipse. This is what it's going to do for you and what it's probably already doing for you. Now, the second eclipse of the season is going to happen on October 2nd, and it is going to be the annular new moon solar eclipse happening at 10 degrees of Libra. So, Libra in astrology is a cardinal sign, meaning that it marks the start of a new, smaller cycle. So, cardinal eclipses are super impactful. Like, they are great to start new things, new projects, new journey. So, you know what, that thing that like your inner voice is kind of like nudging you towards, like nudging you to take actions or nudging you to, quit or stop doing. This second eclipse that universe is giving you is like making it easy for you to start anew, to start something new, start a new cycle. So whatever it is that, your intuition is telling you to quit right now, universe is then sending you positive energy to help you start again. So this would be great because Libra is a sign that is very relationships oriented. This eclipse would be great, for example, to start new relationships or partnership, like allowing that you clear your intuition, of course. You cannot keep doing what you're been doing, what your intuition has been telling you that needs to stop, and hope that if you keep doing it, like universe is also going to make room for you for something new and shiny. No, the goal is for you to leave behind what is not shiny anymore, what is starting to feel icky, so you make room for the new shiny things. This is how, you give to universe and universe gives back to you. Now, I know that you have this question. Okay, V, great. Can you tell me where this is going to happen for me? I need like extra guidance here. Of course. So, first things first. With this second eclipse being in Libra, you are going to find similar themes in similar areas playing as it did during last March of April. So, it's time to revisit where in your relationship that last eclipse played, what it sent you, and kind of like, close that circle here. The main difference is going to be the themes that are going to play around the what's during this eclipse. So, first things first. We're going to check out where in your birth chart those two eclipses are going to hit you. So, for this, I very much love to work with astro.com. Okay. So, are you seeing a page saying astro.com here? Okay. So, to generate your birth chart, you're going to need three informations. You're going to need your time of birth, your date of birth, and your place of birth. Once you have those three informations, you are going to go to astro.com or whatever website that you're currently using to generate your birth chart. And we are going to go and generate your birth chart. Okay. So if it's not already done, you're going to want to add your informations to plug in your informations. So, the website generated for you. So you're going to click on that add button here, and you're going to plug in the information that I told you about that you're going to need. Once that's done, you click continue. I'm not going because I already have my informations. And it's going to bring you back to this interface here. So I personally love to teach and read in whole signs. Again, this is a personal preference. Like usually the two type of reading are Placidus and whole signs. I personally favor whole signs, but again, that is up to you. It's a personal preference. If you want to put it in whole sign, you're going to go in the house system here, and you're going to select whole signs. And then show the chart. So you are going to want to locate first, where is it that Pisces and Libra are in your chart? Because this is going to rule a very specific house in your chart. And the house in your chart is about the where, like where in your life this is going to manifest. We're going to go back on this a bit later on. But first, let's see what houses Pisces and Libra are ruling for you. So you're going to want to locate this little symbol. This is Pisces. And this little symbol here. This is Libra. Now, the second thing that you're going to want to locate is the number of the house. So in my case, you see my Pisces is ruling my 5th house. And my Libra is ruling my 12th house. So once you have those numbers locked down, what houses this is ruling for you, this is going to indicate the specific area of your life that those two eclipses are going to impact. And we're going to go and see what are the different houses, meaning first. So if you add if one of the two eclipses was impacting your 1st house, this is the house of I am, the house of awareness of the self. So it impacts your, your appearance, your body, like directly your body. It could also impact your outward personality, how you show up to the world, how it is that you do things on a regular day-to-day basis, how it is that people are perceiving you, how it is that, you want to be perceived also by the world. Like, well, when we're in business, this is a biggie. Like, how it is that am I perceived by my audience, by my clients? So this is how it might impact you or nudge you towards making changes if your 1st house is impacted. If it was your 2nd house, this is the house of money, possessions, values, skills. It's like the house of I have. It's your personal resources. So this could impact, for example, how you make money, how you're called to, add to your possession. That might be you want to tweak how money is coming in. You want to add another, stream of income. It can be like tweaking your selling funnels, for example. Now, if it was impacting your 3rd house, this is the house of I think. So it's, how you learn, your mental activity, how you communicate. It's also the house of siblings. So this could be, for example, impacting maybe how you view your relationships to your brothers and sisters, or how it is that you want to communicate now to your audience, to your clients. Now, if this eclipse, one of those two eclipses, is impacting your 4th house, this is the house of your home, your parents, your roots, your inner security, that inner space, like that inner world that we all have. So it might impact how you want to reconnect to your roots, how, you define your home, maybe a new home, maybe you're purchasing or selling a new home. Who knows? If it was impacting your 5th house, this is the house of romance, children, fun, creativity. It's pretty much like related on everything that you create and are bound to create in this lifetime. So in business, let's look like how you put out offers. Maybe you want to create something new. Maybe you're redefining how you're creating offers in your business, how you're creating products. So if this is impacting your sixth house, this is the house of daily routine, health, being of service, structure, organization, work. So pretty much how you do daily life, the things that you are brought to do in the daily routines and how it is that you come to structuring your daily life. If it's impacting your seventh house, this is the house of marriage, partnerships, relationships, the ones that you commit to. So the difference between the fifth house, like the fifth house is romance. It's like, okay, you're like, creating this new exciting relationships. Maybe you're having an affair. And then the seventh house is the moment that you commit to a specific relationship in your life. Now, if this was impacting your eighth house, this is the house of sex, death, letting go, regeneration, like investments, sharing, aka other people's money, how you invest in others, but also how other people are investing in you. This is the house about going deeper and deeper, like peeling off those layers and doing the shadow work. If those eclipses are impacting your ninth house, this is the house of higher education, philosophy, publishing, like, reaching more people on an international level, like traveling, law, religion. So ultimately, your personal beliefs in terms of faith and religion, but how also, like, how you want to impact people on a broader level. When I say international level, like it could be anything beyond your current immediate circle, for example. So the 10th house is the house of career, status, reputation, fame, being seen, power, purpose. This is why we say this house is so often linked to your business because it's, you know, how it is that you go outside into this wide, wide world and make a reputation for yourself. So if eclipses are impacting your 10th house, it might very well be that you're going to see like the way that you do business and show up in business change. Now, the 11th house, those eclipses are impacting your 11th house. This is the house of friends, groups, goals, aspirations, community, technology, dreams. So, in business, that can look like getting into new communities, can look like, starting or tweaking your membership, can look like making new friends or redefining your goals, redefining your aspirations. It is totally fine to get new goals in business, okay? It's not because you started a business having XYZ goal in mind that those are not allowed to change. Now, if those eclipses are impacting your 12th house, this is the house of like your intuition, like transcendence, like solitude. But when I say solitude, it's like not like I'm feeling lonely. It's like I'm going to go back to myself and I'm going to reground into myself. So take time for myself and take this time to reconnect to my intuition and my spirituality. So this is the first step. Where is that eclipse? Those eclipses are going to impact you. Now, I want to take this deeper. I want to take this to, okay, fine, I don't know. Well, for example, for myself, okay, it's going to impact my fifth house of creativity and like how I show up and create things and have fun in my business. And then it's going to impact my 12th house of like, spirituality and intuition. Fine. Okay, great. Awesome. This is already like more precise, but what is it going to change for me? What impact is it going to have? And there's a way to also tell this for yourself right now. And this is by looking if those eclipses are going to impact specific planets or elements in your chart. So let's go back to your chart and let's see what is in your houses. So Let's escape. Here we go. Let's go back to your birth chart. So you're going to want to check out it first things first, if there are any elements in your houses. For example, we defined that for me, those eclipses were going to impact my fifth and my 12th houses because those are the houses that Libra and Pisces are ruling. Now, what elements are in my houses? For me, I have two. I have Saturn here, and I have Jupiter. Okay, don't panic. I'm going to put back the PowerPoint in a while with like all the little symbols, definitions, and names so you know exactly what the heck is in your chart. This is the first step. If you don't have any element in your house, it's okay. Okay? It is fine. You are doing fine. Even if there are no elements, it's good. It might just mean that you might feel those eclipses a bit less. It's still going to do something to you, but it might be less brutal. Now, the second thing that you want to check out is the degree that those elements are in. The degree, you can see it with that number here, the bigger one, not the smaller one. Here we go. Because I said that this first eclipse in Pisces was going to be at 25 degrees. So if you have anything that is within 10 degrees of this 25th degree, you're going to feel it more. That's the only thing that it means. So for example, me in my fifth house, I don't have anything at 25 degrees. My Saturn is at 0 degree. So it means that this first one might be a bit softer for me. The only thing that it means. But if you check, I have Jupiter in my 12th house and it's at 5 degrees. The second eclipse in Libra is at 10 degrees. So you can see that my Jupiter is within that 10-degree orb. So it means that for me, this second eclipse in Libra, I might feel its impact a bit more. And because Jupiter is a planet of expansion, I might feel pushed to expand what I already started relationship-wise or community-wise, because this is what Libra is ruling. And this means that I'm going to feel it in my intuition, what I need to do to stretch what is already started. Let's not get too far right now. Let's go back to our PowerPoint and the different elements. So you have on your right all the little symbols and what it corresponds to. So you know what is what. Now, if in the houses that you have that are activated by those eclipses, if you have the sun, okay, the sun is, here we go, sun. If you have this little symbol, it means that this is directly going to impact what lights you up, your internal aspects, your core values, everything that pretty much like makes the foundations of who you are as a human being. Like your sun sign, it's like pretty much like what you are meant to grow into in this lifetime. So yeah, if you have the sun into this house that have been activated by the eclipse, it's kind of a biggie. Okay, you might feel it quite a bit. Now, if you have the moon, it means that this is going to impact like your emotions, your core desires, like everything that makes you emotionally fulfilled on a day-to-day basis. So maybe you're going to realize that you're not taking actions to be emotionally fulfilled and you need to make some switches around this area, for example. Now, if you have Mercury in any of those houses and activated by the eclipse, it means that your communication thought processes or the way that you are brought to learn or think might be influenced a bit by this eclipse. Now, if you have Venus, Venus is all about love, relationships, beauty, and money. That's what we love as business owners, money. So it might be that you're going to be pushed to redefine how you do money or how you do relationships. Now, if you have Mars, this is a planet of action, motivations, desires, passion. So if this is activated, it's pretty much like you might be even more pushed to take specific actions and to review how those actions that you're taking are impacting your passions and your desires and your dreams. Now, if you have Jupiter, this is all about growth, expansion, abundance, success, making things bigger, expanding. So if this is impacting you, if this is in one of the houses activated by the eclipses, you might be brought and pushed to expand beyond what you're currently doing, to grow, and in order to bring more success to your life. Now, if Saturn is in one of those houses, this is about structures, laws, restrictions, karma, lessons, boundaries. So it might be that you're going to be brought to redefine your boundaries or how it is that you structure your, the specific area of your life that is impacted by the eclipse. Now, if you have Uranus and you have the houses, this is about, being rebellious, being unusual, bringing some drastic, unexpected changes. So if Uranus is one of those houses, it might be that eclipse season for you bring in unexpected changes, like things that you would not have seen coming, but are actually beneficial for you. Now, if you have Neptune, this is about dreams, spirituality, illusions. Neptune rules Pisces. Very important. So it might be that your spirituality is going to be even more impacted than other people who don't necessarily have Neptune in the houses activated by those eclipses. Now, if you have Pluto, this is about rebirth, deep, deep transformations. So if Pluto is in one of those houses, you're probably going to be in for a bit of a ride here. Like doing the shadow work and really like making those 180 type of transformations. This is not going to be light. This is going to be even more impactful, but you got this. Now, if you have the North Node, the North Node is about where you are called to move forward as a human being. So I always say that the North Node is like the healthy feeling of being stretched. It's like when you're going out of your comfort zone, it feels a bit uncomfortable. It feels like a bit like stressful, but ultimately feels good. This is the North Node. So if this is into one of the houses impacted by eclipses, it means that you are going to be called to stretch, that you're going to be called to dip your toes even more into quite a bit uncomfortable sectors or realms, but ultimately it's going to feel good. It's going to feel expansive. Now, the charts on astro.com don't necessarily like show the south node, but the south node is always opposite your north node. So if you find a north node, and opposite of it is going to be the south node. So if you have your south node into one of those houses activated by the eclipses, it means that you're going to probably be called to go back to a sense of comfort, of security. It might be that lately it has been a bit of a wild ride for you. So it's going to call for you to regroup into areas that feel comfortable and safe for you. Now, finally, if you have Chiron, this means like Chiron in astrology is called a wounded healer because it calls you to work on some deeper wounding and learn lessons from those. So it's like grow from your past traumas, from your past challenges, learn something, and then teach it to others. So it might be that this eclipse season is going to feel healing for you. You're going to close a circle on like a specific trauma or challenge that pretty much like influenced you and marked you in the past. So now it's about putting it all together. It's like, this is where the fun in astrology comes, when you're bound to put all the elements together and do a bit of a mix match. So now you have the where, which is the houses that this eclipse is going to activate for you. So where in your life is that going to most manifest itself? Then you have the what's. The planets and elements in astrology are about the what. What is it going to impact in those specific areas of your life? So again, I know that I add in my fifth house that was activated by the first eclipse in Pisces. That was activating for me creative areas of my life. And in there, I add Saturn. So it might be that I'm going to be called to restructure um, areas in business where I like to be creative, where I like to create, or where I've been creating lately. Redefine the structures, how I do business. And I know that for me, I know where this is coming for me. I know this is, for example, the membership that I'm creating and I'm restructuring it. I'm still working on establishing the structure. So it's calling me out on this. The second eclipse was in my 12th house. So this is spirituality, intuition. Where is it that this inner voice is calling me? And where is it calling me to, you know, better my relationships, Libra energy. And in my 12th house, I add Jupiter. So this is going to manifest, the what is going to manifest by me listening to my inner voice to expand on the relationships that I'm already taking and how I'm showing up in those particular relationships. So this is like how you put 1 + 1 together and you make 2 out of it. So now I'm kind of curious. We're going to stop this. Okay. I'm kind of curious. Where was this showing up for you guys? Did you have any questions regarding where it is showing up, of how it is that you yourself are bound to put this together? I'm thinking anything that might have come up for you, questions, things you're not unsure. If you can like shoot me what you saw in your chart, I can also help you make sense of it. So I'm opening the floor to you guys now.
Could I share my screen with you, lovely? Because my eyesight isn't great to look at
Oh
my
yeah, of
chart.
course. Like, is it allowing you to share your screen?
I haven't tried. Let me try. Oh, it says disabled.
Oh crap. Okay, how can I do this? Um, partage. C'est en partage. Okay, it should be solved.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Okay,
There we
okay.
go.
I rock technology. Okay.
Okay. So,
Okay. So okay, so your sixth house has been activated by Pisces mainly, and a bit of your seventh house. So you're
yeah.
reading in Placidus. Is that okay for you?
Pardon?
Okay,
Say
perfect.
again.
Um, never mind. Never listen to me. So your sixth house is activated by Pisces. Can I, am I allowed to? No, I'm not allowed. Okay. So yeah. And then your first house is activated by Libra. So you're a Libra rising, right? So it pretty much means that this first eclipse, and then in your sixth house, you also have, you have your Venus. Yep, you have your Venus. So it means that pretty much like this first eclipse with Pisces ruling your sixth house of structures and routines and your daily life thingies, you're probably going to, there's like some structures that intuitively, and I know it's probably like something that's already popping up for you, like that when it comes to when how you do relationships, there are some day-to-day structures that don't necessarily feel good to you, and that could be in your business, or that could be in your regular personal life in general. um so you're going to mainly call to, okay, how it is that in my daily life, I can tweak, switch up my routines, switch up my habits, switch up how I do things, how I show up. So it feels better for me to do relationships with people. In your business, for example, that could be reinforcing your boundaries around the time that you allow to your one-on-one clients, or,
Mm,
the times where you check out Telegram. It's not because someone like messages you on Voxer or Messenger or Telegram, whatever you're using, that you need to answer right away. You know, can be as something like, as restricting your energy, restricting like how people are accessing your energy. Your energy is precious. It shouldn't be shared with anyone, anyhow, any time of the day. So those are example, but you're going to be called to redefine some structures and tweaks around how you
mm,
show up on a daily routine in your relationships. Now that second eclipse is going to impact your first house of self, but also your rising. Like the AC is your rising, and it's always in your first house, by the way. And
yeah.
you also have Pluto in there. That second eclipse might be a bit of a chunk. Not going to hide it. But you might have some very deep realization during that second eclipse that some ways that you're doing relationships, it's not serving you. It's like, it needs to go. It needs to freaking go. Um, it's possible that because this first eclipse is in Pisces, like Pisces is an energy that is a bit more like into the flow. It's like taking in the downloads from universe. It's like, exploring. So it might be that first you might be a bit not sure or confused about the path that universe wants you to take. But that second eclipse is going to be, okay, girl, this is not working anymore. This needs to go. This needs to be tweaked. This needs to like, change. This needs to transform. Shadow work around this. So this second eclipse is very going to ground you back into your reality and show you exactly what needs to stay, what needs to go, what needs to change. So pretty much by the end of October, beginning of November, you might be a different person. You might be like someone like a different person that's like, okay, I am not taking this kind of shit anymore. This is not happening. I am doing things differently now. Like 180, like that 180 type of change, like that's probably going to happen between now and the beginning of November. I'm curious, like
Mm.
when you're going to be at the beginning of November, this is the fun part for you where you're going to look back and be like, okay, I've grown, I've evolved. I like this. I'm good. So it might be a bit of a ride, especially like towards like beginning of October, end of September, beginning of October, up to like beginning of November. But ultimately, beginning of November might feel super good.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
did you have
you.
any questions?
Do I have any questions? So this feels very, relationship focused. So I wonder, part of it what comes up for me is about the relationship with myself.
That's also
So
one.
I think, when I look at the beginning, so my sun is Aries, as you can see. So it's been quite the year of shake-ups and change. Um, and I know since the first season of Eclipses, it's been about me choosing me. And yeah, I'm due to have some surgery in a couple of days that I'll get the results for in the middle of October. So I suspect there's something related to that and how the relationship with my family as a result.
That makes so much sense because the first house is also about your body. Like,
Mm,
you yourself as a human being in your body. And I have a client that, had a lot of like the recent heavy energy also hitting her first house. And it's so similar to you. She underwent like surgery and like she's doing better now. But it did came through like a massive change through her body first that then propelled like how she was viewing like the relationship with herself, how she was taking care of herself. So this is 100% valid. The relationship with yourself is definitely like a relationship type. So yeah,
mm,
here we go.
mm. Thank you.
My
It's
pleasure.
desperately trying to like I can't see those symbols. I just can't see them. So thank you. And I was getting
I'm here for
confused.
this. I'm here for this. I'm here to make you see the symbols.
And thank you everybody else.
Okay. Anyone else have some questions that you would like to go through? You can just unmute yourself and be like, "Hey, y'all." We're all a family here.
Hi. Yeah, I'm very similar actually to, oh, I can't remember what her name was, the last person in the, um, I have my ascendant in Pisces as well. And that's the second eclipse, is it?
The first eclipse is in Pisces, the second is in Libra.
Okay. Well, I have my ascendant and Chiron in Pisces in my first house.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, so
Chiron, that's a
that's
fun
all.
one. That's a fun one. I mean, it's a fun one in terms that it definitely helps you heal. It definitely helps you, feel better, learn from past mistakes, learn from past challenges. So it's a fun one because it just like kicks you in the butt to grow and heal. Um, so it's very probable that during this first eclipse, there's your intuition pulling you towards specific action that you need to take in order to either make peace with past like challenges that you had and that are still kind of like, haunting you in the back of your mind, or this is going to propel you like to take actions to undertake like the next step of your healing journey. Might it, redefining how you want to be seen in the world. It's like, you know what? Like, I'm not this person anymore. I don't do this anymore. This doesn't resonate with me anymore. I don't want people to see me that way anymore, so I'm going to change that. Or it can be, I want to start helping other people heal. This is what it's pushing me to do. Pisces is very spiritual. It's very, you know, um, helpish, like, because they're in a water sign, they're very much into their emotion and they want to kind of like help people because that's who they are. They're empaths. They like to help people grow, heal, get into their dreams. So this might, and you'll know, like your inner voice is probably already screaming at you, being like, "Hey, Carol, this is what you need to do." Either like to heal yourself further, embrace healing, or start this new like healing step in your journey, this new like um quest in your healing journey, especially with that second eclipse. Um, being a cardinal sign, which is all about starting new cycles, starting something new. So it might be that it's kind of like bringing you to take some closing actions so you can then like be like, okay, I'm a new person now. This is something new, like new change, new beginnings for me, kind of things.
Okay. So the second eclipse is Libra, isn't it?
Yes,
Is that right?
exactly. So that would be
Yeah.
in your eighth house.
Yeah, that's my 8th house, and I don't have any planets in my 8th house.
Yeah, so it's probably going to just like nudge you to take whatever showed up for you in the first eclipse, nudge you to take it a layer deeper. Like the 8th house is about going deeper. It's about doing that shadow work. It's like revealing the unseen, bringing the unseen into the seen world. So it might be that whatever is coming up for you right now and is going to come up for you during this first eclipse, the second eclipse is like, okay, especially with your Chiron in there, like, okay, you know what? Let's bring this deeper. Like we're done with the surface level, like kind of work. We're going to go to the root of things and we're going to do things right and thoroughly this time. So first one might be a bit of an eventful like time, but the good news is that the second one is going to be like a continuity. It's like nothing new is going to be thrown and slap in your face. It's pretty much going to be like, hey girl, we'll just like keep gliding in this direction and like keep exploring how we can bring this deeper.
Okay.
Any more questions?
No,
Oh my God, you look
that's
so thrilled.
yeah, I think I've already started. I've already started doing shadow work. So yeah, I'll just be
There we
doing more
go.
of it.
Exactly. Exactly. It's just gonna be like, let's ditch the surface level and let's go deeper, which often is
Okay.
good because when you deal with Chiron and healing, this is like Chiron is like the deep healing kind of stuff. It's not like, oh my God, like I just lost my job. I didn't really care for the job anyway, like whatever, I'm gonna go over it. It's like, the deeper layer of thing that requires you to go deep and deep and deep. So yeah, lots of shadow work.
Okay. Well, thank you.
My pleasure. So anyone else wants to take a go before we wrap this up? Nope. Okay. So before I leave you guys, well, guys, ladies, if you jumped into this masterclass because you saw it, if you jump into it because you were not in my membership and this wasn't included, I just want to drop out there that if you actually had to pay for this masterclass, this could have been free. So the reason is that I have a membership that is called the Rich and Cosmic Society. And in my membership, all of my master classes that are not already included in the membership, because my members have a monthly master class around different goodies, astrology related, all the other master classes that I create, like this one, are included. So this could have been free for you by if you were already inside of my membership. So the membership is $97 per month, and it includes weekly calls. So we have weekly calls, either it's a connecting call, a Q&A, a masterclass, or a full moon circle. We have a monthly full moon circles together. So you have tons of goodies where you know exactly what is always happening astrologically, like wise. Why is it happening? And how it is going to be showing up for the collective and what actions you should need to take. So there are a lot of goodies included in this membership. If you are interested into joining or at least looking at whatever it is including, so glad you're so happy with it, Donna. So Donna's saying I'm getting so much out of the membership. I love Donna. I love having you in there. It is so much fun. So if you are interested in getting more information about it, you can always DM me. You're also going to receive an email very soon about it, containing the replay and everything. So you're going to have all the informations that are needed in there. So yeah, if this is something of interest to you, it's available, like the information's available in all of my links on my Facebook profile and Instagram profile, or you can just DM me to get like directly the link if it's simpler for you. On this, happy eclipse season, ladies. It has been so much fun for me putting this together. I almost kept it on the hour mark. Yay me. and have a lovely day, lovely season, and I hope I'll see you guys soon. Thank you everyone for showing up live. I love you.